So if you haven't yet, you might want to write your name on the back of your tile or whatever piece of paper you're using, or next to the page in your sketchbook, your name, today's date, and where you are. So I just put Zentangle on Zoom and rejuvenate after Thanksgiving. So however you want to designate where you are, so when you look at this a year from now, or maybe a day from now, you can remember where you were. And let's take a moment and feel the paper we're going to be drawing on today. Take a look at it, feel it. Let's get very mindful. Okay, so let's pick up our pencil. Now, as a reminder, for those of you who may be new to Zentangle or haven't done it for a while, we let everything go. There's no right or wrong, and we kind of start with our pencil to draw a string. So we're going to start first by drawing a line about a half an inch to an inch, and these are not exact. We don't need rulers. It's just kind of a guide. And we're going to just draw a slightly arced line like that using your pencil. We did something similar the other day for those of you who were in this class, but it looks similar, but we're doing something totally different. So I just drew this line, and then I'm going to come down here, coming about an inch or so, and do the same thing, kind of just coming out like that. So they look different, but so it's just a slightly curved line. And let's close that up with a slightly curved line or straight line, just closing those up. And actually, we're going to do something that I've never really done before with the string. We're going to just do part of the string right now, and we'll do the rest of it later. We're actually going to fill this string in right now with our pen. So you can put down your pencil and pick up your pen. And we're going to start off making a grid in this section. So I think what I'll do first is kind of turn my tile and kind of mimic this line. And this could be curved or straight, or combination of both. And so I'm going to start to do a grid. So I'm just drawing these lines. So I'm just going to fill up this whole section, drawing these lines where when we I know I stopped but thinking about a square shape or rectangle when we go the other way. But just put in some lines now, not too close, not too far. Think about, we're going to be creating a checkerboard type of grid. And then when you're ready, turn your tile, and now we'll start drawing the lines the other way. And I always like to kind of start in the middle. So I'm going to start in the middle and just kind of, maybe I'll shoot for this corner here. So of course I'm going to just draw this line right down the middle. Now yours does not look like mine, I know that. All of us are doing this differently. Anything goes. Listen to your inner artist. And now I'm going to go to this column here and cut that in half. Just going wherever I want it. I can end anywhere I'd like. And then do the same thing on the other side. Right down the middle of that section. So it really doesn't matter how many boxes you have for what we're going to be doing today. So this is a very interesting pattern. It's called Gingham. So And you really need to focus. This is not just a typical grid where we're coloring in every other one. Just it's going to be a little bit different. Now, if you have a thicker pen, you might want to use it. I'm going to start off with my Micron 01 first. So we're going to start with coloring in this first box. We're just going to color it in solid. So I think I'm going to switch to a thicker, because it depends how big you drew your boxes too. So I'm going to switch to a thicker pen, and I'm just using my Sharpie. I like this. This is a fine Sharpie, but you could use any thicker pen at all. And then just focusing on this column here, you can do every other one, right? Do not move into the second column. Just this first column, you can color in every other block. And it doesn't matter if it's square or rectangle or round. It doesn't really matter what the shape is. We're just going to color in every other one. And when you're coloring, really focus. Don't rush through it. Take your time. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your back is comfortable. And focus on that coloring in. Enjoying how it feels. Always turning your tile to get a comfortable position. There goes my cat again. She just likes to whine every time I'm on the Zoom. So just that first column. And when you're ready to go on, we're going to do the same thing in the third column, right? So we're going to skip that next column and we'll do the same thing. And you're only going to color on the same row that you colored before. So we're really doing every other one on the row that you've already started to color on. So let me just skip ahead to show you what I mean. So this row we started to color on. I'm going to skip here and I'll color in here, right? This is a row. We're going to go every other one this way now. Every other one this way. I'm just putting that in to show you where I'm going to be coloring in. Nothing is going in that second column. And a nice little technique coloring in is going in little circular motions. That kind of helps with that. Helps take out those white specks. So I do a combination of back and forth and little circular motions. Now, if you have, I have 4 columns. If you have a 5th column, then you can continue on and do that. So if I had a 5th column, you would do that, do every other one on each row, coloring that in, continuing that on. But these opposite rows stay all white in the columns. And you might want to go back and color in, take out any white specks that might be there, just kind of put it all, color over it a little bit more solid. Remember, Zentangle, we let go of the outcome, doesn't matter what it looks like, focusing on being in the present moment. Okay, so let's see how everyone's doing. It's great. Okay, good. It's great to see you because then I know who's ready, if we're ready to go on. All right, so I'm going to show the next part. And again, if you're not done, just get started with the next part and then go back to it at any time. So now, still focusing on this first row, the white boxes, we're going to fill this in with vertical lines. And these vertical lines, you don't need them to be straight. I kind of like to give them a little wiggle, a little shake, so they're not perfect. But also, I'm not even focusing on it. I'm just drawing these lines with a light touch, trying to kind of give it a little bit of a character, meaning they're not perfectly straight, but that really doesn't matter. So we're going to fill just this row. Do not move on to any other row. Actually, I shouldn't say that. You can do this in each column that you did. You can put these vertical lines. So still skipping that middle row, keeping that white, and just going to that. A good rule of thumb, the way I remember is this: we're only drawing lines in between black sections. Now I went way too fast. You really want to focus on each line, going nice and slow. Sometimes I just get so excited because I can't wait to show you the next step. So I need to slow down myself. And I might just go back and add some more lines in there just to slow it down. And barely touching the paper, just very lightly putting in some lines. Can you guys hear my cat? Just nod if you can hear. You can? Okay. I shut the door because she was whining. She's never like this, only when you guys are around. Let's see what I can do about that.
It's fine. We don't mind that.
Oh, thank you. Maybe she'll stop. But You're very kind. Okay, sweetie. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you the next part now. And I'm going to turn my tile. And now we're going to do the same thing. So turn that tile. And let me just watch me for 1 second. I want to show you something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in those vertical lines in between the black colored in sections. And then if I turn my tile back, you'll see they're really horizontal lines. So they're really going in the different direction of the ones we just did. And so, which means you could stay here and just do it like this if you wanted to. But I like doing the same thing because Zentangle is about doing the same thing over and over. We're just turning our tile and we're doing the same thing we just did. So remember, now listen up. Very important. We're only drawing lines that are connecting the black boxes to the black boxes, right? So, for example, I'm not going to draw any here because that's not connecting lines to black boxes. You're only drawing lines in between the black boxes or in the same rows or columns that the black colored in boxes are in. This was a confusing pattern for me to get, so that's why I'm explaining it to you guys like that. So we're connecting the black sections with lines in between. There she goes. Let's slow it down, nice and relaxed. Boy, I've never heard it like this. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to pause the recording. All right, so now put down your pen. Oh, yeah, put down pens. And turn your tile kind of upside down. Even though there's no right side up, but we're going to do upside down, reverse direction than we just did it in. Pick up your pencil. We're going to now finish off the string. Excuse me. And I want you to think of a heart, right? So if I were to draw a nice big heart, just watch me first. I'm going to come up, around, over, and into this corner. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like a heart. This is the shape I'm suggesting. If you want to do a different shape, kind of look at the same amount of space, you can do that. So I just came out from the edge here, came up, just doing heart, and then on the other side. And when you're done with that, you can turn it back. And you can, when you're done, you can put down your pencil and pick up your pen again. I'm going to turn my tile a little bit more like this. We're going to be drawing a wavy line from one edge to the heart from the other. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to aura the heart. So you can either do an inside aura or an outside aura. And you can do it with your pencil or your pen, depending on how much space you have. So I think I'm going to go outside aura. just tracing the whole shape, including the stem, if you want. You know, everything's always optional. You can always wait to do this later if you want to.
Jackie, the part of the heart we did in pencil, are we supposed to fill that in too? With black, you know?
We did that with pencil.
Oh, we leave
Oh,
it
you
in.
mean trace over with your pen? You mean
Yeah,
the
we're
pencil?
supposed to do, yeah.
If you want to.
Oh.
Yeah, if you want to. I think I will. So right now I'm giving it an aura. And then I think I will trace over that, the pencil. Thank you. Nice and slow and relaxed. And you don't have to trace over it, totally optional. It's not really going to make much of a difference. Well, I shouldn't say that. Taking your time, nice and slow, breathing. And the aura can be small or large. It does not matter. Whatever space you have, however your aura is absolutely fine. We're going to put something in there later if there's enough room. And at any time, if anyone needs me to repeat anything or go over anything, please, that is absolutely fine. Because we all go at different paces. And as I'm looking at my stem here, I'm probably going to go back later and put in some. I mean, we're going to do, when we do shading, it really changes everything, as you guys, most of you know. But I might even come back later and do some coloring in, as if creating like partially another row. But that's later. Okay, so now we're going to draw. Try to find an. I'm shooting for the middle. All right, and I'm going to turn my tile. And I'm going to shoot for the middle. Just watch me first. Not even the middle, actually, somewhere. I'm just going to draw this kind of a wavy line. I'm just kind of going to turn around to show you. Again, it doesn't matter. Yeah, just draw. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't have to be exact, but I'm shooting kind of for the middle of these little rounded areas. Just wavy, just a wavy line. Doesn't have to be like mine. Does not matter. To be wavier or less wavier. And then, I'm going to turn again, I'm going to leave some space and do it again. And this is not an aura, so it doesn't have to line up. It might line up, but it doesn't have to. So it's almost like a large aura. And when I say aura, it's just doing the same thing we just did. But we're leaving a little bit of space. And again, your space can be less than this, more than this. It does not matter. Just another wavy line. And now we're going to give a nice tight aura on either side. And we're going to breathe and go slow. So we're just going to, an aura, now we are outlining what we drew. And you'll do that on both sides, both lines. Just one aura on each. I can see some of you are thinking, where is she going with this? I love surprises. I love surprising people. Okay, so the next step is we're going to fill this section in with lines. Now, I'm just going to start right here in the middle. So I'm going from those inside lines. And these are straight lines. Leave a little space. Drawing these lines. Nice and slow and relaxed. Not too close together, not too far away. Focusing on each stroke. Let's slow it down, breathing into it, giving each line we draw our undivided attention. Focusing on the present moment, not what's coming next, because you don't know what's coming next. Now, when I finish this part, I'm going to turn my tile, and you guys can do this any way you want, but it's more comfortable for me to draw from left to right, if you know what I mean. So just get a comfortable angle, drawing these lines. Really slow it down some more, breathing. So I'm going to move on to the next part. Again, if you're not done, that's great, because the goal is to go slow, not to finish. But I know there are some people ready to move on, so we're going to just show you the next step, and then we'll have time to really take our time. So what we're going to do now is pick any line. And you might want to watch me first. We're going to give it a very little aura, kind of halfway down or just a little ways down. Doesn't even have to be fully halfway down. And I'm going to show you this a few times, and we're going to then color that in. So it is going to look like piano keys. And we're not doing this on every line. So pick one with me now if you haven't yet. I'm going to pick the next one. We're going to draw a line, an aura, and stop almost less than halfway down, and then come back up. So we're giving it, we're crossing over, so we're giving it like a rectangular aura, and then we're going to color that in. And I'm using my micron for coloring this in because it's a skinny area, but you can use any pen you like. So the key to this, no pun intended, the key, right? Piano keys, you have two blacks together, 3, 2, 1, and it doesn't have to be like piano keys, right? So the idea is to have a single one in between here and there, meaning with no black key on it. So I'm skipping that line altogether. I'm going to do one over here. So I'm going to do sections of 1, 2, 3, whatever. If you want to color them all in, you can. It's totally up to you, right? There's no right or wrong in Zentangle. So I might even add a third one here. So I'm going to do sections of 3s, 2s, and 1s, and none. So here's one, and I might give that another one to have a section of two black keys together. Kept that one empty. I'm going to keep that one empty. So you want these single ones, spaces in between sections of 2s and 3s and even 1s. So I'm just going to do a 1 right here. But you don't have to, again, you can do all 2s, all 3s. You can color all of them in if you want to. Totally, totally up to you. Listen to that inner artist. Don't think about it. Whatever you feel like drawing is absolutely fine. You can even do both ends if you want. There's no right or wrong in Zentangle. It's not supposed to look like anything. So we're going to spend some time on this. I'm going to stop talking and just relax into it. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next part. And again, if you're not done, that's good. That's good. We're just going to move on to the next part and you can go back to whatever you were doing. And this part's going to take a while. So we're going to fill in this section and this section, the first part the same, the second part a little different. So we're going to do the pattern Muka. So Muka, and if you have never done Muka, you might want to do this on a piece of scrap paper first, or you could go right to your tile. Anywhere in here at all, we're going to draw this nice arc shape, come around, almost like creating this golf ball at the end. And then when you get to here, we turn around and we come back and over what we just drew. Now this ball can be different shapes. I'm going to do another one. I'm actually going to turn my tile, and you can do it anywhere you want. I'm going to come up the other direction, come around with this nice big arc, come around. And this time I'm just going to not even do a golf ball, just kind of make it as kind of a aura, almost like a candy cane. So that's another option to do it that way, or any type of shape you want. I like this, so I usually stick to the golf ball one, but sometimes it doesn't come out that way. So it really doesn't matter. So you're going to fill up this whole section. Let's just focus on, well, you can focus on both, it doesn't matter. But focus on one section at a time is really what I'm saying. But you don't have to. For example, if you really want to go wild, right? These are for people who are maybe a little bit more experienced at Zentangle, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to kind of do a holly bow. So if I come like this, imagine it's going underneath, come around and bring in that muka, and then bring it all the way down. So that's a holly bow style going underneath. You know, that's totally optional, but we really just focus on filling in these sections, doing this muka shape. I want to show you a couple things. There's so many different ways you can do it, and I always suggest turn your tile, get a different angle, start wherever you want. Now, if you go like, let's say we come around, we do a muka like this. So you can do a single one, or you can now kind of do another one right with it, right underneath it. So you can do like a double one.
Jackie, I'm gonna have to go now, so I can't wait to see the finished product.
Oh, good. Okay. Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Yes, I seen you. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Debbie. And I'm also gonna do a little holly bow within the muka. So I'm gonna draw one kind of going underneath another muka. Again, this is really, if you're used to doing this, you know, if you're not used to doing this and it's confusing, don't even try. You know, these are just little other ways you can do a muka by going underneath them. But just have fun filling up these mukas any way you like. And at any time, if your inner artist is saying to you, oh, I feel like putting in a different pattern that Jacki's not sharing with us today, but I know, go ahead. This is your time, your creation. Anything goes. Listen to your inner artist. Recording. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I'm suggesting to go in the background of these. Two different things. One is, okay, the reason I'm hesitating is because this one has a lot more space than this one. So my personal preference, again, nothing doesn't matter. Uh, Pick the one that has more space in it, all right? And the one that has more space, I'm going to do crescent moon, right? So we're just going to draw this ladybug anywhere at all in this section. So I'm just picking a place on a muka. Do a ladybug with coloring this in. And I'm really sorry about my cat. I don't know what's going on with her, and she's not well, but I'm really sorry. Anyways, then so you're going to do this in various places. I'm going to do one right here on the edge of the piano keys aura. So I want to do these, a few of these, and then it's like the pattern crescent moon where we aura each ladybug. And I'm just doing 3 for now, but then after I demonstrate, you can actually just put all ladybugs in and then put the auras in. So in the pattern crescent moon, many of you have done before, some of you may not. And what you do is you draw that first ladybug. It's just really an arc shape and color it in. And then we aura them one at a time, alternating, just giving it a nice aura over and over. And that's how we're going to fill up this background. I'm also going to show you the other one. Now, what I also would suggest, again, there's probably 1,000 ways we can do this pattern. So listen to your inner artist. What my inner artist is saying today is, so I could fill this section up with lines, or I could color it in and add a little drama. So once your lines are all, filled in, also you can start another ladybug on top of one. So for example, I could, like right here, I could put in a ladybug or just some solid and then do some more auras there, or I can just make it all solid, or I can bring in this line. So the point is you can add in more of these solids, fill up those spaces to add drama and depth. So that's what I'm suggesting for one section. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here, and if you want, you can mix the two up. They don't have to be in separate sections. And I might do that, who knows, right? So I'm going to turn my tile. I'm going to pick this section now, and I'll show you the other fill-in. And the other fill-in is a pattern which is kind of like Shattuck. It is Shattuck. It's a Shattuck, the pattern Shattuck variation. And so I'm going to pick this one. It'll be easy to demonstrate. I'm going to find a little corner next to one of the mukas, and I'm going to kind of do that ladybug first, so just an arc shape, color that in, give it an aura. So very similar, but we're going to add those auras right then and there, and then we're going to start again. So I'll do a few lines, and then I'll pick another little corner off of that line, kind of like that, right? And color that in, and now we're auraing that. So we're switching directions of these auras. So after a few lines, doesn't matter how many, I'll do it again. I'll go here, start another one, which will be very similar to the first one. So basically, we're just reversing the directions of the lines. Very casual, doesn't have to be any certain amount of lines or direction. It's just giving it that look. So I'm going to do it again here, right? Just to show. I'm going to put one here.
Jackie, I need to take a break.
Yeah, we're going to take a break in just a second. Thank you. Go ahead if you'd like. You don't have to announce it. You can just go. Anyone can take a break whenever they like. Right? We're being recorded, and we will take. Thank you. We will take an official break in just a minute, and thank you for that reminder, because we do need to take a break. Appreciate that. So now we're just going to turn that off. Okay. So now that I got you going on these two patterns, like I think it was Bonnie that said that, it's really important that we do take a little break. So if you need to use the restroom, shake out your wrists, shake out your body, stand, stretch. This is a 2-hour class. We're into it 1 hour already. And this second half is going to be a lot more meditative, because I know I've been talking a lot, but now we've got a lot to do. And so please do take that break. And I'm going to pause the recording for a moment. And for those of you listening on the recording, just resume it when you're ready. I'm thinking if I don't talk, my cat won't whine. She's probably saying, stop talking. People just want to meditate. I'm gonna mute myself. So for those watching the recording, I'm going to pause it again and until we finish the background, and when you're finished, you can resume the recording. So even though we haven't finished the background yet, I'm going to move on to the what I have planned for the border. But anyone, you're all, as you know, you can put in anything you want in the border. I'm going to show you what I had planned today. But also I want to point out that I have planned to leave this background, and we all have a different amount of background. Some of you might have a lot of background, some of you might not have any. I have very little. I'm going to leave that all white. It's just going to stay white. Although you never know, if things could change between now and we get there, but that was my plan. So here's what I have planned for the border. And when I did this on my rough draft, I had a lot more room in my border. But you see, you never know. But I'm going to still go with it. So the first part of the border is we're going to draw these little S shapes. Little S shape. Here, let me zoom in. It doesn't have to be exact S. It's just kind of, and it's on an angle, right? So it's not like cross. It's kind of like on a diagonal. And then I'm going to give that an aura. And that doesn't matter how thick that is. And I'm going to color in the edges and leaving a highlight in the middle. This is one part of what I have planned. So then we skip and we do that again, giving it that nice little S shape, giving that an aura. I like this one a little bit better than the first one I just did. A little bit more curvy. Turning that, leaving some space and doing that wavy line again. And you might want to wait to put those highlights in. Maybe you'll do something else with it. And I'm going to go all the way around, leaving some space in between because we're going to put something in there. And when you get to like the corners, there's going to be 3 different corners here. Just do whatever works. And it doesn't matter which direction you draw the S shapes in. Like I can turn it and go the other way. I think it's a good idea to keep it going the same direction, but it doesn't matter because it's Zentangle. So I'll show you what I'm suggesting to go in between these S-shaped brackets, I'm calling them kind of brackets. So there's a pattern called Xander that some of you may do, and there's Tipple. So I'm alternating Xander and Tipple. First I'll show you Xander. So Xander is from bracket to bracket. We're going to draw these lines. Now, it's very lightly. They might break up a little bit. It's a very light touch, kind of like those lines we did over here. You know, it's a very light touch. They're not straight. Think of maybe a log, you know, kind of looks like a log. So I have a lot of separation with those lines. I'm going to do another one, not so many separations, but they're definitely not straight. So, and I'll do one more, and what I'm doing is I'm combining Xander with Tipple, and Tipple are just orbs, all different sizes if you want to, little circles. So I'm going to now go here and put in some orbs. And then either continue with some orbs in the next section, but I think I'm just going to bring in some more Xander. So what I am thinking is doing Xander and then every now and then break it up with some Tipple, some orbs. And I do like to try to get in different sizes, all different sizes, maybe a few bigger ones in there if I can. But that doesn't matter, whatever feels right to you. So in about 10 minutes or so, we'll start doing some shading. So we've got time. Take your time, relax. So I'm going to pause the recording until it's time for shading.